Hi, this is Survivor from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to show you an album. Now, I deleted a big portion of the beginning of the album, how I created these pages, and also how I created the frame. So I'm just going to really recap really quickly how I did this. So in order to create the flowers, so these flowers and a lot of the embellishments that I'm using in this project were done with the Heartfelt Creation. And I do show you a video where I got these. There was a craft show here in Arizona, the CK convention, plus there was a stamp show the week before that, and I went to both. And I went ahead and bought the dies with the matching stamp. So these are the ones that I used. I used the Botanical Rose with its die. And then I used the Vintage Morning Majestic Bloom, I guess it's called. And it also has the die. So I put the die in here because the die came in one of those packages that you cannot use for storage. You got to throw it away. So I went ahead and pulled it out, and then I put it in the new packaging that they have. But what I want to show you is the paper. So the paper for this whole project was from this Lost and Found, and it's a designer paper 12 by 12, and there's a lot of paper in here. So it's really pretty paper. It's an old paper pad. So I'm trying to pull my old paper pad and kind of get them into either home decor projects and my mixed media and stuff like that. So I pulled the paper, and then how I created the frames. So I have a bunch of these frames that you see here, and how I created those frames were with my old Sissic die. So this was the base of all my frame, and then what I did is some of the frames had these accent pieces. So these are like frames that you can use as accent, and how it goes is you can put it on top. Let me show you one that has an accent piece like this one. You can see that I put the main frame under, and then I have the accents piece on top. So that's how you you do this. And in order to get this nice thick frame, what you want to do is you're going to take cardstock, and then you're going to take some Yes paint. So I used some Yes paste, and I applied it on the piece of paper. Then I put my cardstock, and I glue it together like you see here. So you glue it together. So let me show you how to do that on this piece of paper. So you make sure you get a nice coat of this Yes paste, and then you just fold over the paper, and then I use my brayer to bray it down to make sure it's nice and adhered. And then the trick is you got to leave this drying over 24 hours. You can, otherwise it won't give it time to really seal in with the paper. And also this Yes paint takes a while to dry. So it's very good. I really love the Yes paste. It makes it that it almost looks like it was part of that cardstock, and see how thick it is. It's very thick. But the trick is you got to leave it to dry overnight. And I did that to all my frames, and then I let it dry. And the next day I went ahead and cut them out, and then I started cutting out the embellishments and making the dimensional flowers. And the other thing that I did is I took a lot of my old dies that I have from Anna Griffin, and I just cut filigrees, I cut frames. I have these little tags that was the leftover when you cut out these frames. You always have a piece from the center that gets cut as well, like this one. So then it cuts it out, and then you have this extra piece. So I have a bunch of that. So I also used another thing that I used was these Alteration dies by Tim Holtz. So I used some of these. And I didn't use a lot of these. Actually, once I started cutting these out and I tried to lay it on the paper, it didn't really go. I didn't like how it looked, so I really didn't use all of them. So once I cut all my pieces out and I created my dimensional flowers, I also show you how I created this flower. And this see how it looks dimensional? So I show you how to color these and kind of set it up and cut them out, so that way you can create like a three-dimensional flower arrangement here. And see how you can put foam adhesive, and then you can really put that like that on your layout. And it all has to do how you cut it out and you leave tabs, and also has to do how spread apart you stamp your flowers. So I create little envelopes. So what I want to do is I want to be able to put it in my album, and then I'm going to slide a picture in there, and then I can change it out. But the reason why I wanted to put a backing is because that way I can easily place it on my page somehow like that, and you know, I can put little embellishments and stuff like that in the back of it. And I went ahead and cut a lot of these filigrees. These are my Anna Griffin dies, so I have it all ready, a lot of stuff ready to kind of place on my page. But I want to show you how I create these pockets. So you just take a regular piece of cardstock. So then you take some glue, you put it right on the edge, leaving an opening on top, and then you place that on your cardstock. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to cut all of these out, and then we're going to start assembling our page. Now, because I put a lot of bulk, you cannot have more than 7 pages on here, because I did want to mention, this is going to go on my coffee table in my living room. This is what I created, so 7 pages. So this is going to be the front of my cover, and see how beautiful those flowers from Hot Felt Creations look after you give it a little dimension. I love the leaf there, and then these Martha Stewart butterflies, because I also, in addition to that, I have this big bucket full with stickers and stuff like that. So I pulled from here to kind of embellish my pages. Yeah, I didn't make a dent. It's still full. So I gotta make some more projects. So here's the page. And see, this is something that I purchased a long time ago that I was saving. And I found the perfect spot for it in this album. And it just gives it that extra bling. Here's another page, and one thing I want to advise you is just make sure you glue everything down, because these stickers will fall off with the handling. So you want to make it that it's sturdy enough that people could flip through it, and it's not going to pull apart on them. And the other thing you got to make sure is keep in mind where your slits are for your photos. But even if you put the slit upside down, you can still insert photos in it. It just makes it a little more difficult. Here's the other one, and see how pretty that looks. And then the last page. And, you know, either way, it will hold up. Now, let me show you, I'm creating, this is going to be my sister album. So when she comes over, hopefully on the 4th of July, or when I go over there to her house, I will bring another album. So I need to find a container to put it, or a flip album, something like this, similar to this, in a thrift store. So I'm going to see if I can find a frame just like that, so I can do this and that one. That's my other page. And then, you know, you can put titles, you can just get a tag or anything like that, and you can put who's in the picture here. But I didn't do that in this case. See how beautiful these are. And see how you can really make dimensional 3D by putting foam dots on your Martha Stewart flower stamp. So any kind of stamp that you have of flowers, you can do the same thing. And look at that one. So I hope I gave you an idea and that you like this video on a home decor item that you can create for your house using the supplies that you already have. So thank you for watching. Bye now.